Dominic Kwong right here.
Dom Kwong. And
Damon.
perfect. So we're gonna have 25 minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in the back with these cards, letting you know how much time.
How much
you have.
Q&A do we usually leave for people? 5 or 10?
I've been seeing some people leave 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be tight around probably 18 minutes, like 17, 18 minutes.
Okay, good. Yeah, as long as it's done by 25.
Yeah.
Do you want a
That's good.
10-minute? We made this one.
You can put up any sign you want. You know, at the end of the day, you can throw things at me too, just to be sure.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, good.
I'll present you in here in a second. So
Okay.
you're ready, and we'll be good to go. So I'll say Dom Kwong with the game.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
Perfect. Good afternoon, everybody. Now presenting Dom Kwong with Damon.
All right. Guess I have to. Hello, everybody. Appreciate everyone for attending, and I'm very happy to be here. As you said before, my name is Dominic Kwong, CEO of Damon Motors. We're super happy to be here. I want to tell you a little bit about Damon. We are driving the future of sustainable personal mobility. So, you may not know this, but this presentation is going to be a little bit interactive. How many of you ride motorcycles? Nobody. How many of you ride bicycles? E-scooters? Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome to personal mobility. Thank you for being our friends. Motorcycles is really the next journey there. So, let me tell you about personal mobility. So first of all, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Damon. Why personal mobility? What is personal mobility? Well, personal mobility, and I make sure I got this laser pointer, it's not just everything on two wheels. So this is an example of what we're talking about personal mobility. Everything from e-scooter, e-bike, to what we call urban commuters and performance machines, whether it's on-road or off-road. You may know them as superbikes. Our company was built on the foundation of safety, electrification, and user experience. For myself, I am a motorcyclist, have been for the last 25 years. I love everything about bikes. And one thing that led me to build this company was that I have friends who ride, and I have friends who have passed because of their love of riding. Okay? So, with Damon, as I said, we're all about safety, electrification, and user experience. This is the world. This here is Taipei in Taiwan, and this off-ramp from the highway, it's called the waterfall. Why? Because it looks like a waterfall of people coming down it as you observe all of these people choosing two-wheelers as a viable form of transportation as an alternative to cars. Thinking about as cities become more dense, traffic and the flow of traffic needs to move. This here is a prime example of how these vehicles can move. What you're seeing here are a bunch of people doing their everyday activities, whether it's commuting, recreation, last mile delivery. They choose this as their most economical form of transportation. So just to give you the headline number here, the market size 40 billion by 2030. There are a lot of people choosing personal mobility as their predominant transportation choice. So Damon, in personal mobility, we can categorize personal mobility in three primary buckets. We have micro-mobility, which covers the e-scooter and e-bike, urban mobility, which is basically scooters, And scrambler motorcycles, for those that know what that is, it's basically a motorcycle that gives you the range that you need. So 100 kilometers, doesn't have a lot of top speed, but it gives you a high degree of mobility for everything that you need to do. And one of the other categories is performance. So I call urban. So Damon, again, we are focused on all, but our primary focus as we introduce our products, we are pushing our technology on the performance market, but we are definitely target the meaty middle, which is urban. Okay? So whether you are going to and from work, to and from school, commuting, whether you're taking the opportunity to use these type of vehicles for last mile delivery, or if you want to forget about the cares of the world and on the weekend go for a ride and just enjoy life, Damon has everything for you. So one other element that we have in this graphic, it shows the connected cloud. And why is that important for us? Because data helps us drive future decisions on not only the products that we make, but the solutions that our customers are looking for. We can't forget about our heritage. Damon was founded in 2017. In 2020, we released 2 vehicles. We call it the Hypersport and the Hyperfighter. These are our flagship Halo products that has generated over 3,000 units pre-ordered, 100 million in book value. These 2 vehicles has our proprietary technology, not only from a safety point of view with our cameras and radar, but also has our connected cloud and other technologies that allow the ultimate in comfort while achieving performance. Going back to our primary value proposition, safety, electrification, and user experience. I want to add another one. So we'll go in some detail. So the intelligent safety system. So what is it exactly? The intelligent safety system, you have all experienced it before. This is blind spot detection and forward collision warning that you find in your cars today. What we did at Damon was to ask the question, why are cars the only ones to be afforded safety? It makes perfect sense why these technologies should be adapted for two-wheelers. And so that's what we have done. We've taken commodity technology together with our software and allowed the world of personal mobility to utilize these technologies that have been around for decades. Smart electrification. It's not just about an electric drivetrain. It's about having a system that understands your specific needs and tailors the motorcycle or e-bike to adapt, whether it's power or range. So for example, if I'm a big fan of going to the track. Okay, so I'm very much in the performance category of the space. So if I'm on the track, our system is smart enough to know that I'm biasing power versus range. But let's just say you are a last mile delivery rider and you use a scooter to get around town and you choose an EV platform to meet that specific need. The system would bias range as opposed to power. Okay? Number 3, accessible mobility for all. What we're talking about here is not just about the hardware and the software ecosystem that makes up these particular vehicles, it's also the financial model to deliver it. So in today's generation, I look at my own 2 kids. My 2 daughters are 20 and 18. They're Gen Z. And so if we look at generations beyond that, alpha, ... they're looking at ways to attain services. So at Damon, we have a couple of models to achieve that. One-time sales, vehicle sales, or subscription. And subscription is just really a fancy way of calling it a bundle lease package, right? So lease plus insurance plus connectivity. That's what today's generation is looking for. User-driven design. I would say to all of you, we all are familiar with these. We carry this every day. We look at them more than we look at our own spouses at times. I asked this of my kids one day. I said, what would you rather lose? I held up my phone and I held up wallet. It's like, well, the wallet, of course. I don't even know what a wallet is. They only know the world by the phone. But the phone is not just identified by a phone itself. It's about what does the phone enable you to do? Navigate from A to B, back to A, commerce, all of the above. And so at Damon, we are combining the digital experience together with the vehicle and the financial model. So basically in that Venn diagram, in the middle, it's just quite simply, it says makes sense for today's generation. The company is structured with 4 verticals. So the first one is called data intelligence. This is where we take our connected vehicles and our connected cloud platform to be able to gather the data that each of one of our customers generates and add the context to it in order to generate actions, insights, information that we can now monetize. So those customers could be the end customer because we've now provided a way to automate their everyday life. It could be a tier 1 supplier, for example, a tire company that has no idea how their tires are utilized on a specific vehicle. We can give them near real-time data on their products so that they can design better products and have a better mix of products in the various geographies that they sell their products. And of course, we're not selfish. We want to spread this, across all OEM platforms. So it's not just about Damon vehicles, it's any vehicle. So we have no problem helping other companies license our technology and get them onto the data track here. Other division, we have licensing and engineering services. So again, data intelligence is part of it. Our mature technologies that we have today, which is the electric drivetrain. So our motor is pretty special, is very efficient, and has a very high output. We can help other companies that are traditional in ICE, so internal combustion engine, add EV as a alternative path to basically expand their portfolio. So our engineers and our licensable technologies can be offered to them to at least help them go in or transition into that journey as smooth as possible. Personal mobility. The personal mobility is basically our vehicle factory. Now, we don't own our own factories. It means that we design our own vehicles. Why? Because there's no OEM today that combines the data aspect, as I mentioned before, together with the vehicle and the financial model to the customer base that is the largest of its kind. Millennials, Gen Zs, ... We're building these vehicles as an example of what the customers today want, right? So that OEMs, other OEMs, the larger ones, can take our example and perhaps say, hey, that technology on that motorcycle, can you do this with it? Can you offer this on piecemeal to us? Absolutely. And special projects. Special projects is our ability, is basically a division that allows us to get as much visibility into the company and our technology as possible. This is meant as slow volume, let's just say high visibility, opportunity programs. Like for example, we have relationships with MotoGP or Formula One. We can offer paddock vehicles to the Formula One teams or the MotoGP teams so that they can go from point A to point B. And again, high visibility, great marketing opportunity for us. So special projects is available to take it's basically an offshoot of personal mobility to give us additional paths of revenue. Our strategy has always been originally business to consumer. So we took a page out of Tesla's book to be able to provide our vehicles direct to consumer. So in some markets that do support that business model, we will be able to push that. Special projects allows us to do that. For other areas of the world, again, we're very much focused in Europe and Asia, of course North America as well. We also can entertain a business to business relationship because as some some governments around the world, they mandate that you must have brick and mortar stores. And so, we would work with, traditional distribution model to support that opportunity. Looking at on our metrics, this is from our filings, December 31st. Of course, today is a little bit different than yesterday, so we can take that offline and talk about a lot more. But these are our current metrics as of December 31st. Capital expenditures and the path of profitability. We have a very an asset-light assembly, which means that our vehicles are built on extensible platforms that are not capital intensive. So again, with the strategy for us with manufacturing is that we are going to utilize contract manufacturing. My background is consumer electronics before I went into the world of big auto. We can leverage a contract manufacturer's capability and their ability to scale in order to build our products. High margin data intelligence revenue. Software, our SaaS model, I feel that it is a big play. It is an opportunity in the world of personal mobility to not only do this, not just for ourselves, but also for other partners as well. Licensing and engineering revenue, as we said before, we want to help those that want to get into the world of EV, especially in the personal mobility world. And in special projects, as I mentioned before, there are high visible opportunities that we can take as we move forward. And we have discussions right now with a few groups to do that. Of course, no plan can execute without a fantastic group of individuals here. So I don't include myself in that in that bunch, but I have to first talk about my CFO, Val Buehler. She has over 20 years of capital market experience. She and I work together very extensively on how we deal with the strategies of the capital world, and can't do this without her. Our group of engineers, Rob Chartier, Kurt Rissick, Adam Stefanski, they lead all of our internal developments. So at Damon, we are structured. We have three main groups within our company: business development leadership, subject matter experts, and program management. The reason why we're doing this is because that is the most valuable asset that we have within the company, right? So we are making what is valuable and buying what's important, right? So these three help us lead the way in the cloud, our powertrain development, and our connectivity solutions. And of course, the board helps us guide the way, right? As Bala and I look at different paths of revenue, different opportunities, the board and their support and their background helps us achieve those goals. Again, just to remind all of you, our reason for being at Damon, we feel that with our technology, especially as we're emerging towards, enabling software for all, we are positioned for market leadership. The innovations, we have over 40 patents that have been granted to us around the world. We feel that our innovations and the way we think about technology, especially centered around safety and electrification, help us achieve revenue growth. We have a sustainable business model because the products that we make are capital light, right? And we have a clear strategic advantage where we are looking at enabling not just ourselves, but other partners to utilize Damon technology so that we can serve an underserved base of all the mobility customers, especially as generations are coming. So for more information, info at Damon, go to our website. I appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you so much.